Just ahead on CTV News tonight, it's Memorial Day weekend. We have what you need to know if you're driving or flying the friendly skies.
I'm Byron Scott at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport with the latest on holiday travel. That story coming up.
Plus, a county police officer is indicted. And Simon Buggs has your Friday sports page. CTV News starts now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for May 24th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Gina Barty. Thanks for joining us today. Is the official start of the Memorial Day weekend, and some like to say it's the start of the summer, while some may celebrate at the beach or barbecuing.
The federal holiday is dedicated to honoring U.S. military personnel who have died while serving in the armed forces. We have tips for whether you're traveling by plane or train or even automobile. Also activities for the whole family if staying in town. And if you are heading out of town, well, you are not alone. AAA Mid-Atlantic anticipates that 44 million Americans will travel during this holiday period. Here in the Washington metro region, about 1 million residents are expected to travel. However, about 90% of area residents are expected to drive to their holiday destination. If you are hitting the road, don't forget to pack your patience.
The best times to leave on Friday would be either before 11 a.m. or after 8 p.m. On Saturday, the best time to leave would be before 1 p.m. and after 6 p.m. and then before 1 on Sunday and after 7 on Monday. So we are definitely expecting the roadways to be busy throughout the weekend, but that peak travel time will certainly be when we're expecting the worst congestion would be on Friday between 12 and 7 p.m.
With the inclement weather expected this weekend, the Auto Club recommends giving yourself enough time to get to your holiday destination.
You'll also want to allow yourself plenty of time to get to the airport for your flight. According to AAA, this could be the busiest Memorial Day weekend at airports since 2005. Byron Scott is checking in on things at BWI Thurgood Marshall.
Some 3.51 million people are expected to travel through airports across the country this holiday weekend, many of them coming through BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. To sum it up in 2 words, not bad. That was the reaction of many travelers at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport, travelers who were geared up for long lines and long wait times.
I thought it was going to be packed. I mean, living near the airport, we see the parking lots all the time, and it's like, okay, where is everybody? So far, so good, I guess, right?
What can I say? I'm happy.
Maybe later.
Well, we'll see on the TSA line.
That said, TSA expects to screen 33,000 passengers a day over the weekend at BWI, which is a slight increase over the usual daily number. As for Rocher Whitaker, who is
just getting out of town, going to Detroit.
Arriving early is the only way to travel.
I just like being here early. I don't like feeling rushed or feeling like I have to run.
A look at the arrival and departure screen showed most flights were on time. As for the travelers, they are heading to cities around the country. And where are you heading to?
Orlando, Disney World.
Detroit, Michigan.
New Orleans.
Palm Beach.
Where are you guys heading to?
Florida. For 2 weeks.
Marlon and Lavoitas Jordan are, as their shirts say, better together.
We're going to Cancun for our first year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you guys really are better together. To help the gears of travel spin more smoothly, TSA suggests travelers enroll in TSA PreCheck, the expedited screening program that allows travelers to leave on their shoes, jackets, belts, and keep their electronics in their carry-on bags. That should help you get along more quickly.
I'm going to Michigan for a convention, and that's all I know.
And again, even though we didn't encounter any large crowds at the airport this morning, you still want to make sure you get to the airport way early. At BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank Thank you, Byron, for that report. Now, several metro stations will soon close for summer construction. Starting June 1st, Red Line riders within the northern corridor of the train system will have to change their plan of transportation. Glenmont, Wheaton, Forest Glen, Silver Spring, and Tacoma stations will be closing on the 1st of the month. Tacoma Station will reopen June 30th, and the others will remain closed until August 31st. The closure will allow time for progress with the Purple Line project and other maintenance issues.
Yesterday, Governor Wes Moore vetoed 4 of the more than 1,000 bills passed this past session. Among the 4 he rejected this year were measures to change public notice requirements for estates and allowing out-of-state dealers of motorhomes and RVs to advertise their products at trade shows in the state. So how does he rank among past governors in vetoing legislation? According to the Maryland State Archives, Moore has only vetoed 7 bills during his 2 years in office. Each of his 4 predecessors vetoed well over 100 bills during just their first year in office.
Former Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby has been sentenced to 12 months of home confinement with electronic monitoring. In February, Mosby was convicted on the federal charge of making a false mortgage application when she was Baltimore City State's Attorney back in November of 2023. She was convicted on 2 counts of perjury relating to the withdrawal of funds from the City of Baltimore's Deferred Compensation Plan. The claiming that she suffered adverse financial consequences during the COVID-19 pandemic while she was the Baltimore City State's Attorney. Mosby is also ordered to forfeit 90% of the $430,000 value of the property.
Meantime, a Prince George's patrol officer is indicted by a grand jury for hitting a pedestrian with his cruiser and failing to report the crash or getting the person medical care. According to State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy, the incident happened on March 3rd when Corporal Dexter Shin hit an 80-year-old man as he was cutting through the parking lot of a Bowie fire station. Shin is accused of dropping the man off in front of a locked hospital rather than calling an ambulance.
The officer failed to really get medical assistance to the individual who truly needed it. We know now that the victim suffered a broken leg from this incident, and our heart goes out to him. I mean, to be struck and hurt, that's one thing, because that happens, accidents happen, and at this point we don't believe it's anything other than an accident. But when it's an officer who's involved, there are certain expectations that society has, there's certain expectations that the department has, and there are certain expectations prescribed by law that the officer must render aid.
Prince George's police say once they learned of the incident, they suspended the officer and launched an investigation. Police Chief Malik Aziz says if the allegations prove to be true, he would advocate Shin be held accountable to the fullest extent possible. And you're watching CTV News. Still to come.
Having a teen driver on the road can be scary for some parents. After the break, find out which used cars are the safest and most affordable for your teen. Back in a moment.
Gina Torres. Like many Hispanic Americans, high LDL cholesterol runs in my family. LDL-C is also known as bad cholesterol, and it can increase the risk for heart attack and stroke. So you need to know your number. Talk to your doctor about getting your LDL cholesterol tested and take control of your health. Check out this website for more information.
Well, it can be a difficult decision for parents having to choose an affordable used car for their new teen driver, which is why Consumer Reports and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has analyzed which used cars are the safest and most affordable. They came up with a list of the best vehicles. The cars are affordable, easy to handle, and offer the best crash protection while also being reliable.
This list is a whole, they all meet the same criteria. They are top-notch for reliability from Consumer Reports member surveys. They meet certain thresholds for how they handle in an emergency situation, how short their braking distances are, even things like the fact that they don't have very confusing controls. You combine that with the IHS criteria of these are the best of the best for crash protection. Chances are that young drivers will be in a crash, much more than someone who's got more driving experience. So you do want to combine those two to give them crash protection should they be in a crash.
To view the full report, visit consumerreports.org.
A budget shortfall in Montgomery County means some 300 teachers may lose their jobs. The teachers union said it received notice this week from the county that the district may have to eliminate some jobs. The county's newly approved budget includes more than $3 billion for schools, which is more than the county executive called for, but tens of millions less than what the district sought. In addition to possible teacher cuts, programs like the county's virtual academy are on the chopping block. The board will pick up the matter again in the next board meeting in June.
Maryland Attorney General Anthony Brown joins 24 other attorney generals defending a proposed rule issued by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The rule would allow the commission to implement the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, which requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to pregnant and postpartum employees. In April, 19 Republican attorney generals sued to stop the implementation of the rule, arguing against the requirement of reasonable accommodations for abortion care.
A Montgomery County coach is under investigation for child sex abuse. 32-year-old Damon Jr. Cruz of Gaithersburg was arrested on May 9th and charged with sexual abuse of a minor and displaying obscene material to a minor. Officials began investigating Cruz in April after he allegedly sexually abused a child while he was coaching at the baseball zone in Gaithersburg. Additional victims are urged to step forward and call 240-773-5400 or Crime Solvers at 1-866-411-TIPS.
A new set of college graduates walk across the stage this morning. Bowie State University held its spring commencement today at Bulldog Stadium. Decked in black gowns, more than 670 students received their college diploma in front of their loved ones. Wanda Durant, the president of the Durant Family Charitable Foundation and the mother of NBA star Kevin Durant, provided some words of wisdom to the class of 2024.
So when you go forth and realize that you are our future, you are our future politicians, our doctors and engineers and lawyers, as you go through those journeys to pursue whatever your passions are, don't give up. But know that the obstacles will come. Know that the pitfalls will come. Know that the haters are there lurking on social media. Know that it's there. But I want you to remember this moment.
Durant's foundation provided funding to renovate the university's basketball arena, which included a new basketball court and expanded seating. Again, congratulations to the class of 2024.
Ooh, I remember those days.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, still to come on CTV News, according to a recent study by Mental Health America, more than half of U.S. adults with a mental illness are not getting treatment.
We'll be joined by Dr. Shaquita Mack after the break.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Welcome back. There is an estimated 5.8 million people in America with Alzheimer's disease or related dementia, according to the CDC. With majority of those population being 65 and older, sometimes symptoms and signs are overlooked.
That's exactly why local film director and writer Maya J. Penson is bringing awareness to the issue in her first feature film, The Christmas Room.
The Christmas Room is about a young college student named Grace, the role that I played. She comes home from college and she notices that something's a little off with her granddad, and her entire family, who's been there every day with him, kind of just pin it on old age. But Grace realized that it's a little more and something deeper than old age. So she finally convinces her grandmother to take him to go get checked out, and it turns out that he has dementia. I was able to really resonate with Grace because I had to no one blatantly sat me down and told me this is what's going on with your grandparent, and this is how you should, treat them and have patience with them, and this and the third. I kind of heard the old age thing.
I played the role of Isaiah. I am Grace's granddad. And in this piece, forgetfulness and things of that nature are common practice for us when we're getting in our older years. What was most intriguing for me was I have a granddaughter who is actually in college, and so I was able to draw from my perception of how she would respond and how she would act if she saw me and she came home and something was not right. We really want to promote family togetherness and awareness, and so that when you see loved ones and they're kind of going a little astray with their memory and things of that nature, that it's just not old age. It may be some deeper issues going on, and we need to get them checked out.
The film will be shown at Woodstream Church in Bowie Saturday, June 1st at 3 p.m. For ticket information, visit instaseats.com and search for The Christmas Room. It's estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults in the U.S. live with a mental illness, and nearly 20% of children and young people ages 3 to 17 have a mental or emotional disorder.
Mental health challenges were the leading cause of death and disabilities in this age group. These numbers grew significantly during the COVID-19 pandemic. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and joining us in the studio today to talk about mental health is Dr. Chiquita Mack. Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you
Dr.
so much
Mack.
for having me. I
most
appreciate
definitely.
It so much.
Yeah. Tell us the difference between, a lot of people say mental health and mental illness. What is the difference?
So when we talk about mental health, we're going to be looking more of your social, your emotional, your psychological interactions within your environment. What are the common stressors? How are you interacting within your community? When we go towards mental illness or mental disorder, we're looking at those things that can be diagnosed.
Okay.
And Dr. Mack, what are some common misconceptions about a person's mental health?
That it can't be me.
Yeah.
I want to I'm thankful that it's Mental Health Awareness Month, but we need to be talking about this all the time. There's no straight standard of what it means to have a mental health illness. It could be you, it can be me. It was me at one point in time. And so don't put anyone in a bubble. If you need help, get help.
Most definitely. I think a lot of us probably will experience a mental health issue, go through a period in our life when we might have depression or anxiety.
Absolutely.
What are some of those early warning signs that we can kind of observe, witness, and should be aware of?
Pay attention to your interactions with your environment. Suddenly you are withdrawn from the things that you used to love to do for an extended period of time. We're talking weeks, months, even years. That plays a role. Pay attention to your sleep habits. If they're really disturbed and longing, again, you might want to seek professional help with that. And even paying attention to your eating. If your eating is disrupted, either you're gaining a lot of weight all of a sudden, or you're having an extreme loss of appetite. So kind of start looking at that.
Okay.
And how can someone differentiate between a normal stressor versus their mental health is impacting how they interact with others?
Absolutely. So we can talk about the way you feel. Like, I'm extremely stressed out. If I go run, I'm going to release that stress. But when you start to run and it doesn't go away, and you're having that elongated period of feeling that negative emotional energy and you're fighting it constantly, that's when you might want to say, I may need to see someone.
Mm-hmm. You know, we mentioned in the lead in to you that COVID-19 really hit a lot of people, in particular kids were hit hard. How can we identify some of those symptoms or characteristics in our children?
No, we know our kids better than anyone else. Pay attention to them. Pay attention to their interactions and what they love to do, and they're suddenly like doing anymore. I can speak from experience with my daughter. COVID was not the environment for her. She's a very social butterfly. So I've noticed that all of a sudden she doesn't really like to be around people, and she's feeling a little anxious now because she's been sheltered, you know. So pay attention to your kids. You know them better than anyone else. And again, do not be afraid to get them the help they need.
And how do you say that to a parent who might be working several jobs and is quite busy with trying to provide for their child, but also wants to check in on their mental health? How does that parent balance those things?
When we're all very, very busy.
I know.
And it can be that way where I'm trying my best to pay attention to my kids, or I'm trying my best, but I'm just really overwhelmed. I advise to just take 5 minutes and just speak to your kids. How was your day?
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
And I promise those 5 minutes will make an extreme big difference.
Yeah. I'm very conscious of checking in with my daughter on a regular basis and just asking her, how are things going? What's going on? How are you feeling? Do you feel sad? All those questions that I think that we always try to avoid. Why do you think there's such a stigma to mental illness?
No one wants to be labeled as that because society has somehow made it a bad thing. Like, oh my gosh, you have a mental illness or your mental health. And it's like, that's not the case. I believe everybody needs to be in someone's chair speaking. We carry so much on a daily basis. Just look at society now with inflation going up and people are just trying to survive. And so if we can just change the narrative that everybody needs help, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through, change the narrative and let it be known that it's okay to get help. It's absolutely okay.
I want to just ask you this last question. We only have 30 seconds, but talk to me about some of the self-care strategies that I know you're big on, empowerment, and especially in particular with women, because we carry a lot.
We do.
You know, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to put on my next job when I get home. So talk about self-care really quickly.
Self-care for my women, for my mommies especially, you know, be intentional. We are always scheduling everyone else. Let's be intentional about ourselves and put ourselves on the schedule and take care of the things you love to do.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mack, for joining us today. We'll see you again, most definitely. If you're in need of help or for yourself or a loved one, the National Alliance on Mental Illness has national, regional, and local offices. They are a great organization to connect with for family support, peer-to-peer support, medical references, and more. You can call the Prince George's office at 240-736-7593, and you can reach the Montgomery County office at 240-777-4000.
And after the break, we're giving you the scoop on fun for the whole family this Memorial Day weekend.
And Simon Buggs has a little sports for us this Friday.
Hey there, everyone. Don't go anywhere because I got some exciting sports news for you as I preview some of the upcoming summer camps over at Bowie State University. Stay tuned.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy taught him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
Welcome back. A giant touring attraction is making its way back to Prince George's. And if you're looking for the kind of fun this weekend that makes people jump for joy, well, then look no further. Mariah Jalad is there to show us everything we can expect.
What you see still being set up here might be the most fun option for your Memorial Day weekend, and it's got fun for kids and adults alike. It's Big Bounce America, the touring bounce extravaganza like you've never seen before.
The weather's beautiful. It's 3 hours of sensory overload, super fun. There's nothing else like it around the country, so it's just a really unique way to come and spend a half day with the family.
The massive park also has a record-breaking claim to fame.
So we've got the world's largest Guinness Book of World Record, world's largest bounce house at 37,000 feet. With a 1,000-foot obstacle course and then 6 other massive inflatables for people to enjoy.
And there's more to do than just enjoy those inflatables. The event takes up a lot at Rosecroft Raceway, and the fun is all around.
We've got a boombox with a DJ in there running games and prizes. We've got plenty of food vendors as well, so it's really more like a festival or a carnival vibe.
But the real fun is in the bouncing, obstacle courses, and foam party. And the jumping is for bounce house enthusiasts of all ages.
Anyone can enjoy this, so we have tiered sessions. So we do 3 and under sessions, 7 and under, 15 and under, and also 16 and over sessions for the adults to have a really good time without worrying about hurting any kids.
If you don't get the chance to come out to Big Bounce this weekend, don't worry, they're going to be in town for the next 3 weeks. From Fort Washington, Mariah Jalad, CTV News.
You can find all the information you need for the event at thebigbounceamerica.com.
And the DMV is full of activities this holiday weekend. Hey, I wanted to see Mariah doing some bouncing on that thing. But if you're looking for some things to do, the patio season at MGM National Harbor kicks off Saturday. It's their resort-wide bash. Each restaurant's outdoor patio will be transformed into a theme party zone. Enjoy live music, food, and of course, great drinks. You can also go and get your bounce on, like Mariah just said, at the Big Bounce House this weekend in Fort Washington. On Monday, the city of Bowie is having their Memorial Day parade on Bel Air Annex, Bel Air Drive. The parade starts at 11 a.m. DC Black Pride events are going on throughout the weekend. You can go to their website at dcblackpride.org for info. And on Monday, you can take the entire family to the National Memorial Day Parade on Constitution Avenue with pre-parade musical performances that start at 1 p.m. and the parade begins at 2, followed by the National Memorial Day concert taking place at 8 p.m. on the west lawn of the Capitol. Just a reminder, be safe out there this holiday weekend. Really? What was that?
What's up, everybody? It's time for your Friday Sports Page. We started with some college sports news as Bowie State has announced that they'll be hosting multiple summer camps in 2024. Women's head basketball coach Shade Swan is just one of the coaches that will be doing a summer camp in 2024. The first camp, the Coach Swan Skills Camp, will be taking place from June 16th to the 21st for kindergarten to 8th graders. The price for the camp is $265. The next camp will be her Elite Camp, which will take place on June 23rd for athletes that are between 7th grade and junior college, with a cost of $80. And finally, Swan will host another Elite Camp on August 18th for athletes in the range of 7th grade to junior college also. The price for that camp is $80 as well. The camps will be held at McKeldin Gym as well as AC Jordan Arena. Head football coach Kyle Jackson will also be hosting multiple summer camps. Jackson will have camps on June 1st, the 8th, the 13th, and the 15th, as well as July 12th. This camp will help multiple positions from the quarterback to special teams hone their skills. And not only will these camps help players improve their skills, but they'll also get a chance to show them off as the camp will host various showcases. For more information on these camps, visit the website on your screen. Moving on to the world of college lacrosse, Maryland defenseman Andrew Zappatello continues to rack up accolades. The senior defenseman was recently awarded the Raymond J. Inners Outstanding Player of the Year award. This comes after Zappatello was named a first-team All-American last week. Zappatello had a good season for the Terps, racking up 23 turnovers, which led the team, as well as 31 ground balls, which ranked second on his squad. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year also has 71 career turnovers, which is good enough for top 10 in the program's history. Zapatello and the rest of the Terps will continue their NCAA tournament run as they will take the field next against Virginia in the semifinals tomorrow at 2:30. And moving on to the WNBA, the Washington Mystics continue to struggle to open the season as they are still winless. Washington fell to the Phoenix Mercury last night, 83-80. Their next opponent will be the Seattle Storm tomorrow at 9 o'clock. In Major League news, the Washington Nationals will begin their series against the Seattle Mariners tonight. The two teams will take the diamond at 6:45. And wrapping up sports, it'll be an exciting weekend for Raiders fans as the Eleanor Roosevelt High School softball team will take on Leonardtown in the state championship game. CTV Sports will be at the game and provide you with highlights on Tuesday. And that wraps up your Friday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
And that wraps up CTV News for now.
Thanks for joining us. Good night.